It was a cold and silent night. The stars were shining in the sky, and the forest below was calm. But suddenly, the peace was broken. A loud sound came from above. Something was falling from the sky. A small spaceship, damaged and burning, crashed deep inside the forest. Trees broke, smoke rose. But no one in the nearby village saw it. It was far, far from the eyes of the world. From the broken door of the ship, a tall, thin figure slowly stepped out. She was not human, but she looked close enough. Her skin was light blue. Her eyes were large and full of pain. In her arms, she held a little girl, only 5 or 6 years old. The girl was shaking. She was scared and cold. Double quotes, Mom. Where are we? She asked in a soft voice. The woman looked around. We're on Earth, she said. We're safe. For now. She touched a small device on her wrist. It was broken. Their communication was gone. The ship was dead. They had no way to contact anyone. They were alone. The woman sat down on the ground. Her legs were bleeding. She held her daughter close. Don't cry, she whispered. I will protect you. I promise. The child looked up at her. Is Daddy coming? The mother closed her eyes for a moment. She could not lie. No, sweet one, she said. Daddy is gone. Tears filled the girl's eyes, but she said nothing. She just hugged her mother tightly. The night grew colder. Strange sounds came from the forest. The woman knew they could not stay near the crash. It was not safe. With great effort, she stood up. She picked up her child and started walking, slowly, painfully, into the deep forest. Every step was hard. She had no food, no map, no help. As she walked, she thought about her home, the planet she had escaped from. A war had destroyed everything. Her people were dying. Her husband had died protecting them. She had only one choice left, to run, to save her daughter. And now here she was, on a strange planet, with no friends, no weapons, no hope. Just her and her child. Suddenly a sound came from behind. Crunch, crunch, footsteps. She turned quickly, but there was nothing. Only trees and darkness. Still, she felt it. Someone was watching. She moved faster, even though her leg was hurt. She didn't stop. Her heart was racing. Her daughter was asleep in her arms, tired and weak. After some time, she reached a small open area. There was a broken old barn nearby. Maybe human, maybe abandoned. She went inside. Dust and spider webs. But it was dry, warm. She laid her daughter down on some soft old cloth. Then she sat in a corner and looked at the stars through a hole in the roof. They reminded her of home. A tear rolled down her cheek, but she did not cry loudly. She was strong. She had to be. After a while, she pulled out a small round object from her bag, a tiny glowing orb. She placed it in her daughter's hands. The girl held it even in her sleep. The orb was not a toy. It was a memory keeper. It held the voice of her husband. A message for their child. Use it when you're ready, the mother whispered. Suddenly, outside, something moved. A shadow passed by the door. The woman stood up quickly, eyes wide. She picked up her daughter and stepped back. Her body shook from pain, from fear. She didn't have a weapon. She was not ready to fight, but she would, if she had to. The door creaked. And then silence. The woman didn't move. She held her breath. The forest was quiet again, but now she knew they were not alone. Someone, or something, had seen them. Morning light touched the forest slowly. A soft golden mist moved between the trees. Birds sang, unaware of what had arrived in their world just a few hours ago. Inside an old, half-broken barn, the alien woman sat against the wooden wall. Her arms were around her daughter, who still slept in peace, holding the glowing orb tightly. Woman had not slept. Her eyes stayed open all night, listening, watching. She had escaped the war, escaped death. But peace still felt far away. Suddenly, a sound. A creak of old wood. She stood up quickly, alert, ready to run if needed. But it wasn't a machine or a soldier. It was a man, an old man, a human, dressed in worn clothes. His beard was white. He looked surprised. He had come to check the barn. He used it for tools. Sometimes. He saw the woman. He saw the child. And then he saw her eyes, not human. Not fully. Something strange, but sad. He didn't scream. He didn't run. He just said in a calm voice, "Are you hurt?" The woman didn't speak. She held her child tighter. The man looked at her bleeding leg. "You need help," he said. She still said nothing. She didn't know if she could trust him. He took a slow step forward. "I'm not here to hurt you." She looked into his eyes. They were kind, old, tired like hers. Still, she remained silent. Finally, he said softly, "There's food at my house, and a warm fire." The child woke up then. She looked up and whispered, "Mommy." The old man smiled gently. "Is this your daughter?" The woman nodded slowly. "Just once." He pointed back toward the trees. "My house is not far. Please, come." The woman paused. Her mind raced. Was this a trap? Was he a hunter? A spy? But then she looked at her daughter, weak, hungry, pale. She had no choice. She gave a small nod. The walk was slow. The woman limped, and the man offered his help. She refused at first. But when she almost fell, he gently placed her arm over his shoulder. They said nothing during the walk. His house was small, old, but clean and warm. He brought a chair, helped her sit. The little girl looked around. She touched a book on a shelf. She had never seen real earth things before. The man brought warm soup and bread. The smell filled the room. "I don't know what you eat," he said, "but this is all I have." The woman tasted it. It was simple, but good. Her daughter ate happily. The man watched them quietly. Then he said, "My name's Eli." The woman looked at him for a moment, then whispered, "My name is Sari." It was the first time she spoke in front of him. He smiled. "Nice to meet you, Sari." She lowered her eyes. "We won't stay long. You can stay until you're better," he said gently. "No one comes out here." She looked out the window. "They will." Eli raised an eyebrow. "Who?" She shook her head. "People who are not like you." He didn't ask more questions. Not yet. That night, while her daughter slept near the fire, Sari sat alone on the porch. Eli came and stood beside her. "I've lived here 40 years, he said. "People stopped visiting long ago." She looked up at the stars. "I used to live among them." He didn't laugh. He didn't call her crazy. He simply asked, "Why did you come here?" She took a deep breath. "My planet is gone," she sighed. "Burned by war. My people are dying. I had no place left." She touched her daughter's hand. "I only had her." Eli listened in silence. "I ran. We had no plan. Just a ship and hope." Eli nodded slowly. "Sometimes hope is enough." She turned to him. "Why are you helping me?" He smiled softly. "Because you looked like someone who needed it." She studied his face. There was no fear there. No hate, only calm. "Thank you," she said. He nodded. "Get some rest. You're safe here. For now." But far above, in the dark sky, a small red light blinked. Unknown to Sari. Her broken device had sent a signal, and someone had heard it. A soft rain fell on the roof of Eli's house. The sky was gray. The forest outside was silent. Inside, the fire still burned gently, and Sari sat near it, her daughter sleeping in her lap. Eli poured hot tea into 2 old cups. He handed one to her and sat across the room. Neither of them spoke for a while. Then Eli said, "You've been quiet, even more than usual." Sari stared into the flames. Her hands trembled slightly. "I have to leave soon," she said. Eli looked at her. "Why?" Sari took a deep breath. Because the signal was sent, he frowned. What signal? She turned her wrist, showing the small broken device. It was damaged in the crash. But it still worked, just once. It called out. Eli leaned forward. Called out to who? Sari hesitated. Then she looked directly at him. To anyone who was listening, she said. Friend or enemy? She stood up slowly and walked to the window. My people. We lived on a planet called Xylanus. It was beautiful. Green skies, crystal oceans. My daughter was born there. Her voice softened. But then the war came. 2 great empires fought for control of the galaxy. My planet was in the middle. She looked at the sleeping child. My husband was a captain. He died saving our city. I ran. I stole a ship and escaped. She turned back to Eli. We were hunted from system to system. I finally came here, to Earth, a place no one thought to search. Eli looked down at his cup, and now they know. Sari nodded. Maybe the wrong ones heard the signal. Or maybe the right ones. I don't know. But someone is coming. Eli stood. What if they're human? She shook her head. Your people are not ready for what follows me. Outside, thunder rumbled, the fire cracked. Sari sat again, holding her daughter closer. She doesn't know the truth, she said. She still thinks her father might come. I haven't told her. Eli interrupted gently. You're protecting her. That's what parents do. Sari looked into his eyes. Even if it's a lie? He gave a sad smile. Sometimes lies are kindness, at least for a while. That same day, thousands of miles away, in a government research facility buried deep under a mountain, a screen blinked red dot. An officer walked into the control room. What's that? A young technician replied. Something strange. A short energy burst from a rural forest zone. Satellite interference? No, sir. This was artificial, not from Earth. The officer narrowed his eyes. Send a drone. Quietly. Back at the cabin, Eli and Sari sat on the porch as the rain stopped. The sky was clear now, the stars slowly returning. I never thought I'd meet someone from another world. Eli said, I never thought I'd be hiding on one. They both smiled for the first time. Suddenly, Sari's daughter came running outside with something in her hand. Mommy, the orb is glowing. Sari stood quickly. The small orb, the memory keeper. It had activated Dot. She took it in her hand. It pulsed with light. Dot, and then a soft voice came out of it. Dot, it was her husband's voice. If you are hearing this, the voice said, it means you survived. It means you're somewhere safe. You are strong. And I love you both. Tears filled Sari's eyes. She had not heard that voice since the day he died. Her daughter held her hand. Is that Daddy? Sari knelt down and hugged her tightly. Yes, sweet one, that's him. Eli looked away, giving them privacy. But a tear rolled down his cheek too. He had no idea what kind of war this woman had escaped from. But in this small moment, it didn't matter. What mattered was the love she still carried. But far above Earth, in the cold black sky, something had begun to move. A silver ship, large, silent, deadly, turned its path toward Earth. The signal had reached them, and they were not coming as friends. Dot, above the Earth, hidden in the darkness between stars, a sleek silver ship moved without sound. It was not large, just enough for 3 beings. But it was fast, and it was deadly. Dot, inside the ship, the walls glowed blue. Cold mist floated near the floor. Dot, one of the hunters stood before a screen, watching Earth spin slowly below. There, he said, pointing to a glowing red mark on the map. Signal came from that forest. She's there. The second hunter leaned forward. She has the child? Yes. The third one, taller and silent, simply nodded. Dot, they wore armor that looked like stone but moved like skin. Their faces were hidden behind smooth helmets. No eyes. No emotion. Land at night, the leader said. No sound, no fire. No mercy. Far below, in a quiet government base, the drone team watched their monitors. Visual confirmed. 1. Agent said. Unidentified craft entered Earth's atmosphere. Where did it go? Forest Sector 42. That's near the first energy pulse. The commander frowned. Someone beat us there. At Eli's cabin, the world was still. The little girl chased fireflies in the tall grass. She laughed softly, her voice full of joy. A rare sound in Sari's life these days. Eli watched from the porch. He smiled, but inside he was uneasy. Since morning, the birds had stopped singing. The wind felt heavy, as if the forest was holding its breath. Sari stood nearby, looking toward the trees. Her eyes narrowed. She whispered, "They're close." Eli turned. "You feel something?" She nodded slowly. "The air has changed." Just then, the child screamed, not from fear, but surprise. She pointed. A light in the sky. They looked up. A small dot of light blinked once, then disappeared behind the clouds. Sari ran forward. She grabbed her daughter and pulled her close. "It's them," she said. "Then we don't wait," Eli replied. "We run." That night, deep in the woods, the 3 alien hunters moved like shadows. They spoke no words. Their steps made no sound. One of them bent down and touched a footprint in the dirt. Small, light, not more than a few hours old. The leader tapped his helmet. A silent pulse went out, scanning the land. A soft beep. He turned. They're near. Suddenly, from the trees ahead, came the soft sound of a human whistle. The hunters froze. A figure stepped out of the shadows, old, slow, with a walking stick. It was Eli. He raised one hand. "Evening, strangers," he said. The hunters raised their weapons. Blue light shimmered in their palms. Eli smiled sadly. "You're not the first monsters I've seen." They fired, but not at Eli. They hit a tree behind him, where Sari's cloaking device had just failed. Smoke rose. The air burned. Sari grabbed her daughter and ran. Eli shouted, "Go! I'll stop them." He pulled out a strange object, old. Earth tech wired with alien parts. A gift from Sari. He pressed it. A loud, blinding flash exploded around him. The hunters staggered. Sari ran deeper into the woods, her daughter in her arms, her heart pounding. Far away, back in the government facility, red lights flashed. "Second energy burst," a voice said. "This one, alien and human combined." The commander stood up. "Send a team, full Black Ops, tell no one." "But sir," he cut them off. "Whatever this is, it's off the books now." In the forest, Sari hid behind a large rock. Gasping for breath, her daughter clung to her. "Mommy, I'm scared." "I know, sweet one. But I need you to be brave." She pulled a thin blade from her belt, not for attack, but to buy time if needed. Suddenly, a soft beep came from her pocket. Her device, damaged, had reactivated for a moment. It showed a new signal, not from the hunters, from Earth. Sari's eyes widened. They know. The humans know. Somewhere in a dark black helicopter flying low over trees, a human soldier looked at a screen. He saw the glowing blue shape of Sari and her daughter. "Target in sight," he said. His partner asked, "Friend or enemy?" The man hesitated. "I don't know yet." The forest was no longer silent. Birds flew from the trees. Animals ran in fear. Something was wrong. Something dark was moving through the woods. And in the middle of it all, a mother and her daughter ran. Sari held her child tight, pushing through thick branches and mud. Her legs ached, her lungs burned. But she did not stop. Behind them, blue lights flickered through the trees. The hunters were close, and they were not alone. Far above, human drones circled silently, watching, recording, waiting for orders. But Sari didn't know that yet. All she knew was this: they had to disappear. Eli was gone. She didn't know if he was alive, but in her heart, she hoped. He had bought them time. Now she had to use it. "Mommy," her daughter whispered, "I'm tired." "I know, sweet." "One," Sari said. "But we can't stop, just a little more." The child nodded. Her face was pale, her eyes heavy. But she didn't cry. Not anymore. She had grown stronger since they landed. Sari reached a narrow path between two cliffs, a hidden trail she saw on a map long ago. It led to the caves, deep old caves. A place no signal could reach. She entered the shadows, the forest behind. Them swallowed the light. Meanwhile, in the hunter ship's command feed, a red light blinked again. "Target energy detected," the leader said. "She's heading toward the canyon zone. Cut her off." They moved like wind, no noise, no mercy. But they were not the only ones tracking her. In a dark van far from the woods, a human officer watched a screen. "We have a heat trail," he said, "and we're not the only ones following it." His partner looked at him. "You think the alien is dangerous?" He stared at the screen, at the small figure holding a child. "Running. Alone." "No," he said softly. "I think she's just a mother." Inside the cave, Sari stopped to catch her breath. She placed the child gently on a flat rock and checked her pulse, still strong. But the girl was burning up. Her skin glowed slightly, not from fever, but from something else. Sari's eyes widened. "No, not now." The child opened her eyes, glowing faint gold. "Mommy, my chest feels warm." Sari touched her hand. "I didn't think it would happen so soon," she whispered. "What, Mommy?" Sari looked around. The cave walls shimmered with old alien markings, not from her people, but something even older, something powerful. She realized now. The planet itself was waking up to her child. "Your father had this power," she said softly, "but only in battle. You feel it through fear." The child sat up. "Does it make me bad?" Sari hugged her tight. "No, it makes you rare." Suddenly, a sound, footsteps, mechanical. Sari stood up quickly, holding the blade. The hunters were at the cave's entrance. Blue light glowed from their suits. The leader raised his hand. "Give us the child." Sari stepped in front. "You'll have to kill me first." The hunter aimed his weapon, but before he could fire, something happened. The child screamed, and the cave walls answered. The stone lit up. Symbols burned. The ground shook. A wave of golden energy exploded outward from her body. The hunters were thrown back like dust. Rocks fell. The cave entrance collapsed. Dust filled the air. Silence returned. When the dust cleared, Sari looked at her daughter in shock. The child's hands glowed with soft light. "I didn't mean to," she whispered. Sari knelt. "You saved us." The girl looked afraid. "What am I?" Sari smiled through her tears. "You are more than me, more than him, are something new." Outside the cave, two hunters lay broken beneath fallen rocks. The third one, barely alive, sent a final message to the stars. She is no longer just a child. She is the weapon. The sun had not yet risen, but the forest was already awake. Smoke still rose from the collapsed cave. Ash floated through the air like snow. The wind carried whispers, whispers of something strange, something powerful. Sari sat quietly beside a small river, holding her daughter's hand. The girl was asleep, her small body covered in a soft glow that refused to fade. Sari's eyes were heavy. Her clothes were torn. Her hands were shaking. But her mind was sharp. She knew the world had changed. Her daughter wasn't just a survivor anymore. She was proof of a power that others would kill for, or worse, use. A soft hum broke the quiet. A black aircraft descended from the clouds. Slow and silent, like a dark bird coming home. Sari didn't move. She already knew they were coming. 3 figures stepped out. Humans this time, soldiers, but not like the others. Their armor was clean, their movements careful. One of them removed his helmet. It was a man with tired eyes. The same agent who had watched her from afar. The only one who had said, "I don't think she's dangerous." He stepped forward slowly. "My name is Commander Reese," he said. "We tracked the energy. We saw what happened in the cave." Sari stood between him and her child. "If you came to take her, you'll fail." Reese raised his hands. "I didn't come to fight. I came to ask." Sari frowned. "Ask what?" Reese looked at the girl, still asleep under the tree. "She's not just your daughter. She's something more. We saw her destroy trained soldiers without touching them. We saw ancient symbols react to her presence." He paused. "And now every satellite and every secret council on this planet is asking the same question. What do we do with her?" Sari's eyes narrowed. "She's not a thing to do anything with." "I know," Reese said quietly. "That's why I came before they do." The air turned colder. Reese stepped closer. "I can help you. But I can't hide you forever. Others will come, not just aliens. Humans, governments, corporations, everyone will want her." Sari clenched her fists. "Then let them come." He shook his head. "You're strong, but not enough. Not against all of them." She looked back at her daughter. "She has lost her home," Sari said. "She doesn't even know what she is. All she has is me." "And you," Reese replied, "are exactly what they fear. A mother who would burn the world for her." "Child," Sari didn't deny it. Reese lowered his voice. "But if we send her away, somewhere safe, somewhere hidden, maybe she has a chance to grow up free." The words cut deep. Sari had run across galaxies to keep her daughter close. Now, this stranger was asking her to let go. That night, while the child slept inside a cave wrapped in warmth and light, Sari sat alone with Reese by the fire. "She's not like me," Sari said. "And not like her father. She's something new. Something Earth has never seen." Reese nodded. "That's why she can't stay here." Sari held the glowing orb close. The one that held her husband's final message. "She still listens to his voice every night," she whispered. "She doesn't remember his face, but his voice, it keeps her brave." Reese placed a small case beside her. Inside it was a transport pod, disguised as a stone, but it held the tech to send a single being far, far from Earth. "Where will it take her?" she asked. "A sanctuary planet. We used to call it Orchid Base. No weapons. No soldiers. Just learning, healing, and silence." Sari's hands trembled. "And me?" Reese looked away. "There's only power for one. And they will still come for you." She closed her eyes. "So I say goodbye." Again, morning arrived. The child woke up in her mother's arms. "Mommy?" she asked. "Are we going somewhere?" Sari smiled gently. "You are." The girl frowned. "What about you?" Sari pulled her closer. "I'll find you. I always do." She placed the orb in the child's hand. "Keep this. It has his voice and mine." Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. "Be kind. Be strong. Be more than us." The pod opened. Light poured out. The girl didn't understand, not fully. But she trusted her mother. She always had. Sari kissed her forehead one last time and let her go. As the pod rose into the sky, disappearing like a star returning home, Sari stood alone. Commander Reese stood beside her. "You did the right thing." She didn't answer. She only stared into the sky, silent and strong, but far above in the emptiness of space. A signal was caught by someone else. The girl was not lost. She was marked, and something was coming. The Earth was quiet again. No more ships in the sky. No more trackers in the trees. No more footsteps behind her. But Sari knew this silence was only the calm before a greater storm. She stood on the same hill where she had watched her daughter, rise into the sky inside a pot of light, heading to a safe world far away. Now, she stood alone and waiting. Inside a deep control room far beneath a human military base, red lights pulsed. Screens showed blurred images of Sari's face. Her daughter was gone. But the mother still remained. She's still a threat. One officer said, "She's not attacking," said another. The commander, Reese, said nothing. He was staring at Sari's location. A single dot, motionless, waiting. "She's not running anymore," he whispered. In the cold of space, something dark moved. A hunter ship, broken but still flying. The last of its kind. Its final mission. Erase what it could not control. It had locked on. It was coming. Sari knew. She felt it in the wind. In her bones, the enemy was returning. Not for her daughter this time. For her. She stood on the hill in her torn clothes. No armor, no blade. She carried only the orb. Her husband's voice. Her daughter's future. She spoke softly to the air. "I am ready." Then she turned and walked toward the heart of the forest. To the place where the crash first happened. Where her journey on Earth had begun. It felt right that it should also end there. Suddenly fire streaked across the sky. A sharp hum shook the trees. The hunter ship had arrived. It hovered just above the earth, dark and wide, casting a long shadow over the forest. From its belly dropped a figure. One last hunter. Wounded, but not weak. He landed before her, armor cracked, face still hidden behind the cold helmet. "You should have died," he said. His voice was sharp, metallic. Sari didn't flinch. "I lived." "She escaped," he said. "Yes," she replied. "And you can't reach her now." The hunter raised his weapon, but she didn't move. She simply stared at him, tired, but unbroken. "You're not here to win," she said. "You're here to bury a secret." He hesitated. "You're afraid of her," she added. "Because she's not like you. Or me. She's free." The hunter fired, but not fast enough, because the orb in Sari's hand exploded in light. Not a weapon, but a memory turned into power. Her husband's voice echoed in the wind. "If you hear this, it means she is safe. And that means it's time." The light expanded, burning through the air like the sun rising at night. The hunter screamed, a sound not of pain, but of panic. He vanished in the light, and the ship above him cracked. Burned. Fell. And then nothing. Just wind, just sky, just silence. When Commander Reese arrived, all he found was scorched ground and soft ashes blowing in the wind. No body. No sign of a fight. Only the faint hum of a memory device, still glowing, still warm. He picked it up. A message played. Sari's voice. "She is not a weapon. She is not a threat. She is what comes after war. She is what we never were allowed to be. Let her be that." Years later, on a distant green planet with blue trees and golden skies, a young girl played near a lake. She wore a small bracelet on her wrist, glowing softly. It was a gift from her mother. A message she listened to every night. "Be kind. Be strong. Be more than us." And she was. She would grow into a legend, a bridge between worlds, a reminder that the most powerful force in the galaxy, was not war, not technology, not fear, but a mother's love.